In my opinion, the topic of today is a little bit of a taboo in the D&D world. That is, killing a PC during the first session. I know. Anyone else got a chill going down your spine? Well, if you did, let me, Brian Von VA, representing MrRipper as always, give you a little bit more to shiver on. DMs of MrRipper, have you ever killed a PC during the first session? And if you've done so, leave a comment down below telling us your story. That also helps Daddy algorithm, so please leave a comment. Inspired by my latest campaign, I've been a pretty lenient DM in the past when it comes to character deaths. I generally dislike killing off PCs because I know my players get attached to them, and sometimes even I get invested in finishing off their story. I also like to start my parties at level 3, so they're not super squishy in the first session. I'll generally give them an out if they wish to take it. Rocks fell and crushed you before you could finish your arc? An old enemy can dig you out and revive you for information he needs. You got your brain ripped out by demonically possessed Mind Flayer in Avernus? Zariel has a deal for you, and she'll revive you if you swear to betray your allies. Combat is combat and death happens, but I always like to throw in the you survive but when it fits. I've permanently killed off a handful of PCs, but I only do it at points where it makes sense, or the player had accepted their character's death. However, yesterday I started running an Out of the Abyss campaign. I warned the players that if they caused a ruckus, they would be killed. I demonstrated this with a brawl in the slave pens that quickly got broken up by cooler heads who pointed out the guards' habit of throwing troublemakers to the Quaggoths. One of my players, who went through 4 characters last campaign, that's 4 characters, decides to pick a fight with one of the other prisoners and begin throwing a smaller prisoner around like a football to deal damage. After a few warnings and the other players telling her to stop, I had Priestess Alvara arrive, paralyze the PC, kill the incompetent guards who hadn't stopped it before she had heard about it, and threatened to throw her to the Quaggoths if she stepped out of line again. The PC then made a quip. Oh no, here we go. You should thank me for improving your labor pool, or something like that, and was promptly fireballed and thrown into the Quaggoth den to be torn limb from limb. Harsh? Yes, I felt a little bad about it, but everyone else at the table thought I had given fair warning, and the player just started prepping her next character while everyone else finished the session. It also turned out to be a great setup for a reoccurring antagonist, as Elvira was able to escape the massive demon invasion that set them free. Not a DM in this situation, but we had a player kick open a door and catch a save or die spell hurled at them. They didn't save. Almost, on multiple accounts. I think it was the second session, but it was the new player's first session with us. He was playing a barbarian, and he just loved to overextend himself in battle. During a fight with some terrorists, he did just that, and went unconscious in the second round. He then proceeded to immediately fail 1 death save. It was then the terrorist leader's turn. He waltzed over to the unconscious barbarian and attempted an attack. Now, in 5th edition rules, this was made with advantage and would have made the barbarian fail the last 2 death saves. I proceeded to roll 2 natural 1s to everyone's utter shock. No dice fudging, no gimmicks, pure rolls. I stared in disbelief at my dice as the others waited for my description of the barbarian's death. I looked up and said, "As the warrior brings his greatsword down, aiming for your chest, his foot slips on the patch of grass he is standing on, and he completely misses your unconscious body. Grunting, he stands back up and looks at the rest of you. 'That was a warning!' he shouts, extremely confused and embarrassed. The next turn, the warlock finished the leader off, and the artificer healed the barbarian. Overall, at least I made the new player sweat a little bit. A full TPK. Ooh, that hurt. That hurt a little bit. Oh my. Now, technically, I didn't kill anyone, including the character who managed to break the game, but an item he was able to steal did. We were playing Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Maybe minor spoilers? And one of the NPCs I added was a PC I'd previously played. He was a detective who was meant to replace the detective character who was already in the campaign. I had him exactly as he was when I ended the previous campaign I played him in. When they met him in a tavern for foreshadowing purposes, they noticed he carried a briefcase with him. The rogue of the party saw an opportunity to steal from the briefcase. Using the inspiration point I gave him at the beginning of the campaign, he rolled a natural 20, rather than taking the briefcase itself, which would have been too noticeable. He opened it and took the first thing he could reach, an ornate horn attached to the lid. It was a briefcase of holding. Later into the session, as an attempt to get the attention of the city guard, he blew the horn, unaware of what it was. It was a horn of blasting. Oh, God. Oh, that's bad. The whole party was in front of him in a neat little cone, along with some civilians whom the party were trying to help. He proceeded to deal 27 points of thunder damage, 3 damage less than the maximum, to the level 1 party and peasants with 6 HP, causing a fountain of blood to erupt in the street as the whole city block became red with guts and gore. Oh, that sounds so cool. The rogue then proceeded to roll a natural 1 when he attempted to hide. He was caught, given a swift trial there on the spot, convicted, and sentenced to execution. Needless to say, we restarted the campaign. Black Bolt, is that you? Waterdeep, Dragon Heist, spoilers. Hey, we just went through this, deja vu. PCs were second level, and they were Faust, a city guard human paladin of Lathander, ya boy, I read that as your boy. Why boy, a noble drow wizard of evocation. Crystal, an entertainer human rogue. Paulus, haunted one tabaxi rogue. And the star of this story, Piotr, a noble human fighter. They were accompanied by a combat rating 3 swashbuckler and a noble in the city, Renaer. When players dealt with low-level wizard and intellect devourer mini-boss fight, they started searching through the dungeon. They found a secret passage to someone's basement. Piotr decided to rob them and say he's taking the evidence as a city guard. Of course, Faust, as an actual city guard, had nothing of it and tried to stop him peacefully, got attacked, and went for backup. Meanwhile, Crystal and Renaer tried to stop him from hurting the rest of the party. Ultimately, he gets knocked unconscious and guards arrive. So Piotr committed following crimes against Waterdeep and its people: attempted robbery, impersonating a city official, assault on 2 regular citizens, assault on an outsider, assault on a noble, and assault on a city official. He was executed and his body was put in a crypt where resurrection magic doesn't work. Player was kicked out of the game before the next session, replaced with Kanai, an entertainer tiefling bard, sister of Crystal. Good on you for kicking out that player. He didn't sound like a very friendly person altogether. So I started Curse of Strahd last week. Oh no. It was the opening combat that I kinda homebrewed. I managed to kill my level 3 ranger by making 3 shadows attack her and sap all the strength she had. It wasn't a lot of hits, to be honest. She wasn't alone though. She had the paladin with her. But they kept acting stupid, and I had to summon a Deus Ex Machina lightning that revived her. It was a nightmare. DMing my first game for a buddy who never got to play when he was younger. I asked my wife to play too, so it wouldn't be a solo. Well, that's very nice. Wife joined, but neither of them chose a class that could heal, and I was worried they would die right away. So I created another character that I played as a cleric to keep them alive. After some bad rolls, my cleric is on the ground with 1 failed death save and is about to be eaten by a wolf. My friend, trying to help, says, "I attack the wolf who is eating you by cutting off its head." Oh no. Rolls and had 1. He brought that sword straight down, missed the wolf, and ended up cutting my cleric in half. As my cleric died, his last thoughts were about how he was having the best time because he made a new friend. Aww. Yes, he was a goblin rogue who got killed by skeletons in the first encounter due to poor encounter balance on my part. In my defense, it was our group's first time playing D&D, and my first time DMing. We just ignored that death and move on. I warned people during Session 0. This isn't a joke campaign, it has a dark feel. And while I allow open world exploration, I won't save you if you walk into the cave clearly marked, "Warning, Dragon's Lair." Nobody took me seriously, even my best friend. Session 1. He did a barbarian "hold my beer" moment and charged through the fire to attack the right. They were level 1. My intention was the right would taunt them and leave before anyone was close enough to engage. Instead, the right one-hit killed my best friend's character, which then also rose as a right. The party learned the meaning of discretion is the better part of valor and bopped on out of there. Later, as he's re-rolling, the other players asked us if we planned that. I said, nope. I warned you all that I won't save you from yourselves. They started using more common sense after that. I had a new DM put my level 2 warlock solo against 3 wolves at once. He was knocked prone and killed in the first round. I was running a 5th edition game based off Monster Hunter World because the group is just a bunch of combat lovers and hate roleplay. Ugh. Tested their characters out against a few small monsters, then rolled a 20 on the encounter table. Party ended up fighting the Tabaki Kadrik, electric flying squirrel monster, for those who don't play. Ooh, that sounds kind of cool. Monster rolled a critical hit on its bite, and then another 20 on our critical chart. The character he was attacking was instantly killed, and I tried to give him a chance by making a con save. The player rolled a natural 1. Hey everybody, it's me, Brian Von VA, checking in after the vid to make sure y'all leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell to get notified when we post or when we go live, which we don't do here. We typically do on our little Twitch page, but, you know, ring the bell because you're going to get notified anytime we make a new video or a short or anything cool. And if you have a story to tell about how you, as a DM, killed a PC during the first session, leave in the comments below. We want to read that, not only for the algorithm, please algorithm God save us, but because we are genuinely interested in your stories, experiences, and we want to share them with the entire world. Who knows, it might inspire someone or it might just make somebody laugh and happy that day. That said, if you want to come check out me, Brian Von VA, your humble narrator for this, well, everything, come on over to my website, brianvonva.com, links in the description below, and check me out on Twitch, Brian Von VA. I'm everywhere. Come say hi. Please, come say hi. I want to meet you all. Come say hi. And as always, I end things on a positive or at least an optimistic, realistic note. I just want to say, I really don't think it's that wrong to kill a player in a first session or even a session 0. It all depends on the company. It all depends on the reason, the meaning behind the kill. Like the one story we read here about the Dragon's Lair, like, warning, do not enter the Dragon's Lair. If you're stupid enough to enter that, give them a little bit, just a little love and say, okay, look, just ask them very bluntly, are you sure you want to do this? If they say yes, all right, leave them to their fate. But don't obviously scorn them, bully them, whatever, because death is death. It scares people. Even in a murder hobo campaign, they're gonna get mad. Just relax, tell them, look, it's not the end. You can make a new character, we're happy to help, and just go on with it. Because common sense is key, and this is a great game to teach people common sense. So DMs out there who are afraid of killing your PCs, as long as you do it with logic and love, it'll be fine. Everybody out there, please be safe, happy, and healthy. I love you all. And we will see you again very soon. Bye for now.